Any questions of the deputant? Councillor Fletcher, go right ahead.
One sec, Mike. Yeah, I said I would ask everybody. I'm going to ask you, because I wasn't here. Are you very supportive of us removing the 250 meter and the 80 meter requirements? Yes?
Yeah.
And this looks like you set this website up, Housing Now. This isn't the city's website.
It's not the city's website. Yeah, so Mark Richardson and myself put together basically combing through the open data that we have right now, but making it a bit more streamlined and a bit easier to understand what it is that the city is putting forth for Housing Now.
And you have a Twitter handle as well.
Yes.
So you're not worried that your work and the city's work gets confused here?
In all honesty, the city is actually using our website.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
How are they doing that?
So they're visiting it. We have more visits actually from the city than from anywhere else.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Great. Any other questions? Councillor Wong-Tam?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm interested in exploring ideas on how we can bring out new voices to these consultations. I really appreciate your list of recommendations that we want to expand those voices. Oftentimes the City of Toronto does the consultation, but we do it obviously mostly and exclusively in English. But we do know that there are a multitude of people who are not coming out to those meetings. What are some concrete examples that we can do to change how we do the engagement? So
I had brought up live streaming these events, and I think even Paula Fletcher can attest to this, that where we had a pretty low turnout for a lot of the first few meetings for East Harbour, and we were trying to get more of the constituents energized in wanting to visit or come to these meetings, and live streaming them really did kind of open that up to almost that aha moment of, okay, this isn't such a bad thing. It's not boring. It's something that may be of interest to me, and that has kind of pushed forth for, at least in my region of the city, where we have streaming going on, that many more people are really getting involved. I'm sure that we could lean on the city to provide translations as such. I've seen at least sign language at many of the meetings that I've gone to, and I'm sure that we can expand on that, and for sure would be a positive piece.
And with respect to the recommendations, where actually there's no recommendations in this report, but the city is going to be releasing some details around what the comprehensive consultation plan will look like. And I know that, I guess there's a timeline for that for staff, but without a deeper dive into how to engage with the different ethno-cultural communities, with communities that are perhaps newer to Canada, communities that their language is not predominant in English. If we don't do that work ahead of time, is there some concerns that perhaps the comprehensive public consultation plan may come out already not as robust as
that's right.
as
very
we want
fair.
it to be?
Yeah, very fair assessment.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Councillor Bradford?
Thanks very much for the deputation. So just quick question. I understand that their staff want to support community organizations that are doing work in this space through the consultation process. You've identified live streaming, translations. Are there any other sort of supports that you think would be beneficial? Really,
the city has already done a really good job in certain sections, and that's why I had brought up the waste TO piece. The city's already doing a lot of good things, but it needs to be across the board. I don't think you can just cherry pick, projects that need funding. This has to go across the board. This is a massive piece of the city puzzle, and I don't think we should be shortchanging this specific project at all.
So like a consistency in our application of that support.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was interesting about the amount of people that are visiting the website and where that's coming from. Do you see that geographically across the city? Is it east, west, downtown, north, south? Is it
It's across the board, and I mean, like I said, the majority is coming from this building per se, but across the board, we are seeing people jumping on board and taking a look at what it is that we're presenting. We've tried to make it as simple as possible. It's a Google map, and we've basically just mapped out the 11 sites that the mayor brought forth almost. What are we, like 5 months ago, and we've plotted them out. We've put as much information as possible on each of those 11 sites, and we're building it out as best as we can. The information is out there. It's just the fact that no one has put it all together in one simple package.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Questions of staff?